I often get asked, how can I tell if I'm a narcissist or just a selfish person? Or if the person I love is highly narcissistic or just selfish? So like a narcissist, a selfish person may be self-centered and entitled and may not do much for you unless it also benefits them. They may even step over other people to get what they want. But their methods and motives are much different than that of a narcissist. I'm Lise Leblanc. I've worked as a therapist for over 20 years and as a life coach for over a decade. And in today's video, I am giving you 10 questions to ask yourself to help you tell the difference between whether you are a selfish person or a narcissist. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. This content is for informational purposes only, so if you need help with your specific situation, please reach out to a mental health professional in your area. Okay, so first, do you consider yourself capable of romantic love? What do I mean by love? I mean the secure attachment bond that forms after the initial attraction and idealization phase or honeymoon phase of an intimate relationship. In other words, can you love someone when you are not getting high on them? Or do you need to fabricate emotional intensity and chaos in order to feel in love or connected to someone? A selfish person doesn't need constant chaos, drama, or abusive cycles in order to form an attachment bond. Someone with narcissistic personality disorder or someone who is high on the narcissistic spectrum cannot form secure attachments and will have a very short relationship cycle. If they do stay more long-term, they will almost certainly be cycling in and out of affairs for side supply. Although a selfish person may also have an affair, they are capable of love, long-lasting, committed relationships without a constant need or, source of side supply. So keep in mind that there are other reasons that can prevent people from forming secure attachments. It could be other mental illnesses or trauma-related problems, but selfishness in and of itself is not one of these reasons. Question number 2. Are you desperate to own another human being who you can train to be fully compliant, constantly adoring you and bending over backwards to please you, while you can continue to say and do whatever you want, whenever you want, with no questions asked? This is what a narcissist wants, a human pet, because in their early life experiences and brain development, they were fearing the unpredictable and untrustworthy intentions and behaviors of other human beings, usually their mom or their dad, or both. A selfish person doesn't want or need to own you, control you, or demand unconditional compliance from you. Number 3, are you preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love? Is it almost like you are living in a fantasy land in your own mind rather than in the real world? Do you prefer imagining a fantasy life and a fantasy relationship and a fantasy future rather than in the reality of what's in front of you? And if you've achieved major things in your life, do you brag about it incessantly and yet feel empty, restless, and unworthy? A selfish person also has hopes, dreams, and thoughts of wanting more, but they are not caught up in these fantasy illusions as though their identity and happiness depend on it. And this is not a fine line. The narcissist's fantasy world is extremely obsessive. They are almost always living in some type of fantasy future plan as though the present moment doesn't even exist. Number 4, do you prefer being around people who are inferior to you in some significant ways? A narcissist feels the need to control, manipulate, oppress, and be seen as superior in order to control their source of supply. They always see themselves as more intelligent and gifted, but they also like to have other advantages or one-ups on you. A selfish person does not want to be above you or control you. They don't think that they are, gifted or have some superpowers. They simply want to do what they want to do, and they will not accept other people standing in the way of achieving their own goals. But they're also not dependent on you as a source of fuel that they need to control at all cost. Number 5, do you lack empathy for others? For example, when someone is emotional, can you sense their emotions and easily put yourself in their shoes, understand why they might be feeling that way? And if you love that person, do their emotions rub off on you? So if they're happy and excited, do you feel some of that excitement? If they are suffering, do you feel some of their pain and care about easing their distress? A selfish person can put themselves in someone else's shoes and feel their pain, but they may choose not to. They sometimes prefer to shield themselves, ignore or distract themselves from it so they don't have to feel any distress. So while a selfish person may choose to turn down their empathy dials, they are capable of empathy, whereas the narcissist can only fake it. This doesn't mean that the narcissist is incapable of emotions. It just means that they don't empathize with yours. And again, keep in mind there are other mental illnesses or conditions that can cause a lack of empathy. So it's not always narcissism. Number 6, the selfish person leans towards his or her own perspectives, but they can see other points of view. They can admit when they're wrong. They can take responsibility, accountability, and apologize when it's warranted. A narcissist has a great deal of difficulty seeing another person's perspective, and they will defend their own at all cost, even if they know that they're wrong. There's just no responsibility or accountability. Number 7, do you feel real, like you know yourself? Or do you feel like you're acting or wearing a mask in order to be liked, to gain approval, admiration? A selfish person may not be fully confident in their sense of self, as everyone has some fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. But selfish people don't regularly tell lies, exaggerate, and create phony facades to impress others. They are not interested in wearing a mask and putting on an act to get your attention. They, again, just want to do what they want to do, and they'll usually be straight up about it without, any apologies and without really caring about how you view them. A narcissist, on the other hand, is always trying to manage other people's perceptions of them. Number 8, do you intentionally try to distort other people's sense of reality and their sense of self? For example, do you purposely say and do things to create confusion, plant seeds of doubt, play mind games to disrupt other people's ability to think for themselves, make their own decisions, and manage their emotions? Selfish people are not interested in making you think like you're losing your mind in order to take control of you. They're just not. But the narcissist gets off on this. Number 9, do you create rules and boundaries that are only applicable to the other person in the relationship? For example, you are clear that you will not accept or tolerate being lied to, but you lie constantly and feel justified in doing so. A narcissist will set strict boundaries for you, but then blatantly breach those same rules and boundaries without even feeling bad about it. A selfish person doesn't have these double standards. They will respect, follow, and enforce their own boundaries and generally respect yours, or leave the relationship if your boundaries don't work for them. Number 10, do you win arguments by pushing the other person's emotional buttons, confusing them, or by aggressively attacking things that they are sensitive about? If you are losing an argument or the other person has evidence to prove their point, do you fly into an irrational fit of rage or use other deceitful tactics to shut them down? Can you quickly shift from one intense emotion to the next if the person is not budging and giving in? Narcissists will go to extreme measures to get you to fall in line. They are always reading the emotional landscape and quickly contriving emotions to get what they want from you. A selfish person generally fights fair with genuine emotion. They are not leveraging fear, guilt, shame, and other intense emotions to provoke you and get you emotionally charged so you can't think straight. A selfish person will calmly tell you what they want, why they want it, and although they may be insensitive about, what you want and need, they are not interested in creating, emotional upheavals in order to force you to change your mind and see things their way. The narcissist is exploiting you emotionally and often in many other ways as well. So in summary, a narcissist is always selfish, but a selfish person is not always a narcissist. The selfish person does not have a pervasive pattern of grandiosity. They don't have an excessive need for admiration, attention, and approval, and they are not severely lacking in emotional empathy or in their ability to bond with other human beings. Selfish people may at times exploit others to achieve their goals in life, or they may even sometimes go against their own morals, but their motives are not to generate fuel to supply their false fantasy self. Also, the selfish person generally feels remorse when manipulating others to get what they want. The narcissist doesn't. The narcissist absolves themselves very quickly by creating a narrative that justifies and excuses their bad behavior, no matter how awful it is. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my playlist on narcissistic personality disorder.